We'll reconvene. Probably, some of the ones like, Auburn.
Probably Tuesday, because we travel Wednesday, yeah.
I will be no big statements and then questions.
So, really, Molina, his stuff was, he's hard to hit. He throws that carry fastball and he's got a good change up and, he's just kind of effectively wild a little bit and kind of keeps him off balance. It was good to see him get at least 5 innings in. Obviously, if he's a little more efficient with pitches, probably could have gone 7. But, they foul a lot of pitches off on him because that fastball is hard to get on top of. And just a really good start. Game 3, had a chance to sweep the series. It's hard to beat anybody 3 times in a row. We knew that they were going to, throw one of their best pitchers and, we were going to have our hands full. So, scoring a couple runs in the first, that was big for us. Start off with Stovall hitting the ball the other way, and then Kendall hits one the other way off the wall, and we got a run in, and just a really good weekend for us. We pitched extremely well. Obviously, they scored 1 run all weekend, pitched out of a couple of jams. But we also fielded the ball. We didn't make an error all weekend. We stole 1 base, maybe. I think that's all we attempted. We just kind of pitched and played defense and had some timely hits, and a good way to start off conference play.
Molina kind of struggled last week, so how good was it to see him put this start together, considering, last week's outing?
Yeah, we were, obviously you don't want to have 2 in a row. You're thinking you can get some innings out of your starter. We knew we had a bullpen full of guys ready to go, but you want your starters to get their work in, get ready for the next week, stay built up as far as, pitch counts and all that. It looked good in the first. He had a couple of full counts, but picked the guy off and, finished that inning up, and then just kept getting outs. And we felt like he was going to give us 5. For a while there, we were thinking he might give us a little bit more, but then he had an inning or 2 there where he just threw too many pitches. They really didn't get people on, but he's throwing 6 pitches to every hitter and maybe a couple of foul balls, and that's how you drive up pitch count. But he's really good, and to get 5 pluses was big for us today.
The first 2 games, y'all did a lot of your damage with the long ball, but today you had a lot of doubles, a couple of sac flies. I mean, how enjoyable was that for you?
Yeah, well, I like big innings, but I also like putting some pressure on every inning. 2 here, 1 there, 3 there. That was that's how you kind of put it away. You just keep the momentum away from them and get it to the point where they're thinking, man, this is too big a hill to climb. And that's kind of what we did today.
Vahiva had, the 2 singles today and 3 RBIs. I mean, how good is it to see him, impacting the game, not with a home run or double, but just good at bats and coming through in some spots today?
Yeah, I thought he had a great day at the plate. You look at his day, he laid off some pitches that, he walked, and he was down in the count like 1-2 in that situation. Couple of hard hit singles, sac fly to right after he fought off some pitches to get, he had 2 strikes on him with a runner on third and just finally got the ball to the outfield. And yeah, it's, he's got a knack for driving in runs. And, even when he wasn't going well for him, I left him up there in the order because that's what we need him to be. That's what I feel like he is. And, trying to get him going before conference play. And, today was it's a really good day for him. He had a good weekend, in my opinion.
2 games this weekend, I think you guys had like a no-hitter at some point late in the game. Do you have any personal no-hitter superstitions when things are going like that?
No, because I'm probably like everybody else. You really just don't even talk about it. And once they got the hit, nobody said anything. And yeah, I guess that's what you're supposed to do. That's what we're taught to do growing up. It's not, don't talk about it. And but yeah, our starting pitching all weekend was outstanding.
permanently, and you called them effectively wild, is it just kind of sometimes better to leave a starter like that instead of trying to tinker to it, just kind of let it be and grow it on the line?
Well, you know, we've seen that since he got here, that he's gonna go 2-2, 3-2 on a lot of hitters. He's just, you know, he's got a knack for throwing that strike when he really, really needs it. And, you know, they don't hit a lot of ground balls on him. They hit fly balls because the ball stays up. And, you know, yeah, I guess to answer your question, we're not messing with him too much. You know, we'd like him to, you know, maybe get him out a little bit quicker if he can. Hopefully those days are ahead of us because I think that obviously will lengthen his outings.
And then one run across the 3 days, I guess, just for the catchers, just kind of how are they doing holistically, maybe behind the plate, calling the games?
I think they're doing a great job, you know, that we let our guys call the game and we have some input. Tough situations, we're gonna radio something in. If they're not comfortable any time of the game and they look over at us, we're gonna call a pitch for them. But they're doing a great job. They're doing a great job of keeping the ball, you know, presenting the ball to the umpire. That's what we call it. Catching the ball, not running it out of the zone, making borderline pitches look good. We had, you know, we're way up on the weekend looking at, you know, the numbers. They've done a great job. It'll be interesting to see how today went as well.
Yeah, Dave, you talked about getting off to a good start. I guess reading Allers wants it, that's 7th straight year you guys have won the opening series, and that's the 6th sweep. They've all been in favor, so that helps obviously. But well, what do you think about that?
Well, I didn't know that, and then I heard him announce something like that today. But yeah, you got to take care of your park. You know, you got to win at home, and you know the real good teams win on the road. So we're going to be challenged this weekend by Auburn, and you know I don't know if they won today. I don't know if they did. I thought I saw that they might have lost. So we'll be going into a tough environment and a team that's, you know, is fighting. So it'll be a big challenge. But that, you know, winning, I didn't know we'd swept 6 times. That's, you know, I could see winning the series, but sweeps are hard and, you know, good for our guys.
Oh, come on. Pitching questions, Tom, on me, that's, I guess yesterday you talked about the 2007 staff. How would you say these guys, the guys you have now, how would you say they compare to that staff?
You know, kind of this, you know, just I guess they're all experienced. You know, we have experienced starters here in 07. You know, Nick Schmidt was a junior, Welker was a junior, I think. Todd, same thing, something like that. Is that the rotation? Because, you know, that's a long time ago. I move on. Tell Tom that. Anyway, yeah, but I mean, that's like 1,000 games ago, but it was a really good staff. I don't know. You know, slider guy, right-hander Todd, had a good fastball with Sink. I would say that, you know, they are a lot alike when you really look at it, but you know, velocity on Friday's better, but Nick Schmidt could throw the fastball inside the right-handed hitters better than anybody I've ever had. And, you know, they all have their, you know, they all had things that they could do really well. And I think that's what makes a good starter. You figure out what that is. And if you can repeat it, you can get good hitters out. And, yeah, feel fortunate to have 3 veteran guys on the mound.
You think they're pretty comparable, just in
Yeah.
terms of, you know,
Yeah.
3 really good guys.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this staff right now is striking more out than that staff did, but you know, it was week to week. And we struck out a lot of people that year. We didn't have the bullpen that we have this year, probably.
And speaking of strikeouts, you guys are obviously piling them up at an incredible rate. Nowadays, how much do you guys look at that in recruiting and evaluating pitchers, and just how big is that? I mean, you know, an out's an out, but getting the strikeouts.
Well, we just try to recruit good arms and guys that can throw it around the plate when they're, at a young age, you can tell if a guy can pitch. It's nice to get a guy that has a good frame and you could project a little bit, if you get it, if you take a right-hander throwing right at 89, 90 in high school, but you're going, this guy's going to throw 95 and he already knows how to pitch. You got you a really good pitcher. Left-handed, probably about the same. Doesn't quite have to be throwing that hard, but it's not about all your strikeouts. Usually the kids that strike out, a lot of guys in high school are going to strike college hitters out, but it's not the same. Them high school kids, they swing at everything. They just want to get out of there a lot of times when they're facing those really good pitchers. So, now strikeouts are great. You want strikeouts, but it's hard to find guys that strike a lot of guys out that can start. A lot of the times those guys are max effort guys that can only give you an inning or two. So I don't know. I mean, we take what's left after the pros take them, right? Those are usually the guys that are striking everybody out.
I want to ask about Fisher. You mentioned wanting to get him in this week and you gave him an inning. I know he gave up the home run, but was it good to give him his first SEC experience this
Yeah, I
weekend?
think that's good to get it under his belt, move on. He didn't throw as good as he normally does, obviously. He threw the ball down the middle of the plate instead of the corners and, they jumped on him, but that's over with. He can get ready for next weekend and even getting Gage out there, or Gabe out there. We got Gage and Gabe, just to get them out, all of them out. Conference, even though the game was in hand, it won't be the first time in league play next week.
You can take your filling numbers improved.
Quite a bit over this homestand. How do you feel about defense?
Yeah, I mentioned that, and I told the team the other day. I said, "You want to win in the SECs? You pitch, you throw strikes, you don't walk people, and you field. And the hits, some days you hit, some days you don't. And to score in this league, it's hard to get 3 hits in one inning. So if you can hit it over their head, that helps. And we did all that. That's why we won all 3 games. We fielded, we didn't walk very many, and we had some home runs, had some doubles, and we took care of business. And the defense was outstanding. A lot of times when you have pitchers that just strike a lot of people out, they can get on their heels a little bit. They're thinking, you're going to strike another, it's 1-2 count. They know what's coming. Our infielders, position players know what's coming. So, a lot of times, maybe they're not on their toes as much, but our guys, I think they did a great job. They made a couple diving plays and flipping balls and turned double plays. I mean, Behava made some great plays there in the 9th. Those are tough plays. That one ball up the middle, that came up. A lot of fans don't see that. Ball took a tough hop there, and he fielded it and threw the guy out. They made a great backhand, threw the guy out. It was really good to see.
You're trying a couple of double plays now since Peyton came back. Just what does his presence at second do for you in that regard?
Well, like I said, he's experienced. He knows what he's doing. He's got great range. If he gets the ball, he feels it. And, people are, probably have already forgotten. He had major shoulder surgery. You're all thinking about his foot, he's got to take care of his arm and, we've got to watch how much we throw him. But then at the same time, he's got to keep the arm rehabbing to build it up. And, but yeah, it's great having his experience out there and awareness. And then obviously at the plate, he squared up 3 balls today pretty good.
I think that's 4 first.
Inning pickoffs in the last 6 games or something to someone get the scouting credit for that.
You can give that to Zach Barr. Give him all the credit. So it's kind of coincidence in the first inning. He got a couple lefties picking people off. Midweek game, picked a guy off, and usually if somebody's on in the first inning, a lot of times they can run and they're steel type guys, and that's kind of the situation. Just caught him right. On left-handed pitchers too, you're guessing a little bit. The moves are good. Sometimes they balk, they don't call it. So a lot of teams are just going first movement. And if you pick, they're gone. You got to make a good throw. I don't think the Missouri guy I think he was trying to read today because he didn't run. He just got picked off. But our pitchers have done a good job. We got, you think about Smith's move. It's pretty good now. It was average last year. It's better than average now. It's good.
Well, let's-
Dave, you, actually had a couple if that's okay. Dave, I know you guys are always ranked high, but this was your first series this year to be ranked number one. Just, what do you think about being ranked number one? How'd you think you guys handled that?
We're number one. I haven't talked to the team about it one time. Have I? I haven't said nothing. We haven't talked about it. We don't talk about it. We just play. So I guess to answer your question, we won all 3 games. So it went good. I guess it's an honor to be picked, somebody to rank you number one because they think you're that good, but somebody's got to be there right now.
And you talked a little about, Matt asked you about Payton's defense. I guess he's been back for 7 games, I think 4 of those is second. He's obviously, I guess he was hitting pretty much from the get-go. How do you think if you look at these 7 games together, how do you think he's come back?
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem like he's really missed a beat,
I mean, his at-bats have been really good. You think about this guy didn't play, from May on, maybe April last year, April, May, all summer, all fall. I hadn't seen live pitching. Then he started seeing our pitching, standing and watching it, a month and a half ago. And then he sees pitching inside, he's hitting live and now he's playing. And he also his ball's really hard that have been caught, lined out a few times, a couple balls to the wall. I'd have to say he's been amazing, really. For a guy that's got 20 at bat, it doesn't look like it. Looks like he's got 120.
All right, Coach, that's it down.
All righty.